The next few days passed easily for Adelia as she became accustomed to a new life and new surroundings. On the occasions she spoke to Travis, she continually struggled to hold back the tongue he seemed to have a habit of provoking. He stirred strange feelings in her, feelings she could neither comprehend nor prevent, and her defense against them took shape in a quick retort and flashing eyes. Late each afternoon, Adelia visited Salome. She was sure the mayor would deliver any day, and knowing the birth would be a difficult one, she spent her visits comforting the mayor and gaining her confidence. Soon you will be having a fine, strong son or daughter, Adelia told her as she closed the stall door after her visit. I would like to take you and the babe and bundle you off with me. What do you think himself would do about that? He might be tempted to have you hanged for horse thieving. She spun around, her eyes encountering Travis's powerful form resting idly against the next door. It's a bad habit you have of sneaking up and scaring a body to death. She snapped at him. I do happen to own this place, Adelia, he returned in low, calm tone. That's a fact I'm not likely to forget. There is no need to remind me. I give you your day's work, but maybe you think I'm forgetting my place. Should I be bobbing a curtsy, Mr. Grant? You impudent little wench. I'm getting a bit weary of being stabbed by that sharp tongue of yours. Well, it's sorry I am about that. The best advice I can give is that you not be conversing with me. That's the best idea you've had. He grabbed her around the waist, lifting her a foot off the ground as their eyes warred with each other. I've been wanting to do this since the first time you slashed at me with your sharp Irish tongue. He crushed her mouth with his, cutting off a heated retort. Too surprised by his action to resist immediately, Adelia began to experience unfamiliar and disturbing sensations, a heat and weakness that she might feel on a day spent working in the field. His hands were like steel around her small waist, holding her body suspended in the air, while his lips assaulted hers, entering her mouth with his tongue in a kiss that was both devastating and totally foreign to any she had ever known. Pressed hard against him, lips joined, she felt his warmth, his essence seeping into her, demanding and receiving her merging. She could feel the authority in the arms that held her, taste, knowledge in the lips that claimed hers, and body and mind surrendered to both. Unable to combat the turbulence of the explode, she felt it whirl her like a cyclone, spinning her toward the sun until the heat threatened to become fire. And as each of her senses were assaulted and conquered, he continued to explore her mouth, feasting on it as a man who knew a woman's flavor. He took, and she knew nothing of the richness of the banquet she gave him, warm and ripe and fresh. After a lifetime, he released her, dropping her back to the ground as she stared at him mutely, eyes huge with confusion. Well, half pint, this is the first time I have seen you at a loss for words. He mocked her openly. The lips that had just conquered hers lifted in a smug, satisfied smile. His taunt broke the strange hold over her mind and tongue, and her eyes lit with molten green fire. You son of the devil! She began in a rich explosion, and what followed was a raging stream of Irish curses and dire predictions delivered in so strong an accent that it was nearly impossible to comprehend the words. When her imagination had at last run dry and she could only stand staring at him breathlessly, he threw back his head and laughed until she thought he would burst. "Oh, Dee, you're a fabulous sight when you are breathing fire." He took no trouble to hide his amusement, an infuriating grin glued to his face. "The madder you get, the thicker the brogue. I'm going to have to provoke you more often." "I'm giving you warning," she returned in an ominous voice, which only widened the grin. "If you ever molest me again, it's more than my tongue you'll be feeling." Lifting her head, she strode out of the stables, clutching the last threads of her dignity around her. She said nothing to Paddy about her scene with Travis, and instead banged around the kitchen as she prepared dinner, muttering incoherent sentences about great arrogant beasts and strong arm bullies. Her fury with Travis was intermingled with fury with herself. The fact that his touch had brought both excitement and unexplained pleasure angered her further, and she berated herself for the uncontrollable attraction she felt for him.